Oh yeah, this could all be over. We're not okay. Shattered glass everywhere. Tears of rage. Waiting for the rain to stop and take my pain away. Why'd you have to be that mean? Why'd you do me that way? We should know that we won't be any better. Can't you see that we are drifting apart? I am through trying to hold us together. I just want it to stop, want it to stop. Smoke spirals off your cigarette. Door slammed to figure silhouettes. Is this over? Is this over? Is this over? Can this be over now? Is this over? Is this over? Is this over? Can this be over now? Baby, I surrender. I can't take it anymore. I don't want to remember. Just wanna let it all go. Waiting for a new day when I won't feel no pain. You will have to let me go so I can be myself again. We should know that we won't be any better now. Can't you see that we are drifting apart? I am through trying to hold us together. I just want it to stop, want it to stop. No. Smoke spirals off your cigarette. Door slammed to figure silhouette. Come on, say, is this over? Oh, is this over? Is this over? Can this be over now? Be over now. Is this over? Now. Is this over? Is this over? Can this be over now? Say, is this over? Hey, say, is this over? Is this over? Can this be over now? Is this over? Is this over? Is this over? Is this over? Can this be over now?
Wow, I almost timed that perfectly. That's pretty funny. Complete accident. I didn't do it on purpose. Good morning, Tim. Good to see you here, brother. Let me just make sure I got everything working as directed, as it's supposed to be. What's up, Mr. Chris? Good to see you here. I just had to boot some dumb comment off of YouTube. YouTube. You guys need to get your trolls in order, bro. I'm telling you, it's kind of funny. It's just kind of funny. Oh, I know what I forgot to do. Oh, let's see. All right, it's fun getting all of this sort of back in order. But what I need to do is go into live. Nope. Oh God, what is it called? Marketing. Dang it, Tim, I forgot the group. And of course, my ever since Facebook moved everything around, and like I have been using this in beta forever, and I was cool with it because you had time to like go look whatever you were looking for because I wasn't, trying to do stuff. But then when you're trying to do something, it's a little bit harder. If that makes any sense. In my head, it makes sense. In reality, I can't tell you if it makes sense. Anyway, so basically, welcome to the show. I am Doc Rock. Today is going to be kind of a light day because, again, it's weird. Like, I got my iMac. I was so excited. I couldn't wait to set it up. I was going to get everything, kind of working the way I wanted to. And then other stuff came up and I just got busy. So I waited for months and months and months. Okay, I take it back. It was like a week, but it seemed like forever. And then you're gonna find this out today, Tim, because I think you're getting your machine today, right? So when you get it, like, you're so excited to get it, and then finally when you get it, you'll find out that if anything comes up that kind of slows down your process from getting it set up the way you want to get it set up, it's going to irritate you. And that's sort of what's been happening for me. And driving me absolutely crazy. But, that being said, let's pop right in. If you don't know, like, this is your first time, like, say you just finally just happened upon this setup. I'm Doc Rock. I like to help people out with their streams. Now, my primary focus to helping people with their streams is live streaming is really, really, I used to say about to become integral for everyday business, but no, it's not about to be. It's here. It's integral at this moment. This moment in time, it's already integral. So there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of stuff to do in it. And yes, by all means, you can grab your phone. You can get your phone in, just go live and work with that. You can do IG lives, requires basically no setup. But in order to deal with that precious commodity, time and attention, those are the two most precious commodities in the world. If you can make that time more meaningful and make that attention more attentive, then you will just do a better job delivering the message to which you are trying to deliver, and you will also gain the more. You will also gain the attention that it deserves, and you're also helping people out. So that's my goal, that's my focus. People come to me with their questions, and I try to help them sort of convert their business or convert their hobbies or whatever into what is now the live streaming game, right? And right now is probably one of the best ways to connect to people. I recently spent a week watching my niece get her, her first sort of real semester of school. When you make that transition from like 5th grade to 6th grade and 6th grade to 7th, that's when you really start to dig into school. It's not like, making cute little hand turkeys and stuff. Like, that's where you're given responsibility, asked to do research and things like that. And the incredible comfort that these kids have from their regular Zoom classroom to jumping into their breakout sessions and watching a group of 10 and 11-year-olds manage a breakout section with reckless aplomb. I mean, I watch adults can't even handle their breakout sections so well, so smooth, and respect for each other and listening to each other, because they haven't developed the habit of listening with this. they still listen with these, and there's a reason why you have 2 of these and 1 of these, is because these are more important. So as I watched them do their thing, it was sort of giving me a little bit of, I guess, pause, because it's something that I thought we should talk about today too. Penzi, my buddy Penzi, is in the house. He says my camera is a little bit out of focus. It turns out last night we had a power outage, and my camera is on dummy battery, so it doesn't have the real battery. And of course, when they did that, it just erased all of my stuff. I normally don't even use focus. I use manual focus. And so now I have to try to turn it back on. And since I can't reach it, I have to do it with this little remote. And that's a pain in the butt. So hold on. Thank you, Chris Penzi, for saying that. If anybody else thinks I'm out of focus, because it could very possibly be that Chris has been smoking Hawaii's finest, and maybe he thinks I'm out of focus, but I'm in focus. There you go. And then the other Chris Wood says it sorted itself out. All right, cool. See, that's why they call it autofocus, but I put it back in manual. And that's a conversation that we'll definitely talk about at some point, manual focus versus autofocus. I personally, for this particular task, I don't like autofocus. Even though the Sony camera that I'm using, the A6400, does have really, really quick autofocus. But in order to do that where it works at its best, I would need to sort of increase the light in my environment. The more light you have, the quicker the autofocus works. But I like my little sort of mysterious Darth Vader cave look. I can give it a little bit of extra pump. Boom. Oh, I just realized something. I'm coming to you guys naked. Okay, much better. Much, much better. Anyway, so, again, saying hi to my buddies. What's up, Pinsy? Good to see you here. EW3 is in the building. He knows, he recognizes time and attention. Time and attention is key. Tim says he is going to go and get his new computer now. Wow. Yeah. That was cool, Tim. It was fun to talk with you about it and getting your plans for your computer put together. And yeah, that's what I like to do. Like, Stephanie was like, Tim was vacillating over what machine he should get. And I know it was driving him crazy because even when I was talking to him, he was like, pensive is the proper word. And then I'm glad I'm able to help you decide what you need. It is a hard thing to do. And you know what? I do it myself. Like, I will have 3 things in 3 different carts and I just like, I have literally Russian roulette a computer pick before. It is what it is. And let's see. Chris Woods in the building. And thank you, EW3 says, I was out of focus, but I'm not out of focus anymore. And I'm assuming that Woozy's talking about R2-D2 back there. He's not lit right now because this iMac is blocking him, but he's back there. He's always there. You got to keep him there. And then let's see, Aaron Puente. Okay, so let's answer Aaron's question right here. He says, do you use the ATM Mini? Good weekend. From Monterrey, Mexico. ¿Qué pasó, brother? Un momento, por favor. Oh, yeah. Okay, so if you are on the live stream community, Aaron, see, I have to even pronounce it in proper Spanish, Aaron. If you are in the Ecamm community, they the boys, the twins, they actually did a sort of unboxing and quick setup a couple of days ago. Chris Wood, if you could grab that link and paste it in the YouTube comment, that would be dope. But yeah, this is the A10 Mini Pro. Your primary differences between the A10 Mini Pro and the standard A10 Mini is going to be the ability to do some record control out, so you can connect up what's known as a hyperdisk. And the hyperdisk, or hyperdeck they call it, is basically SSDs that allow you to record on the fly. They have another hyperdisk that records to SD cards. You can record on the fly. And it has a little bit extra wipes, like upstream keying and downstream keying. And you have a little bit more control over your audio sources. But the key one is has a built-in stream encoder. So without using Restream, which I'm using today, or Ecamm, you in theory could just have this plugged in directly to the internet and you can stream directly out of this box with no other hardware. So it's great for the road. As far as setting up in the studio, I did have this set up for the longest time until I put the new iMac in. Thank you, Chris Wood. Everyone, if you get a chance, these guys, wait, stop that. These guys do a quick run through here. They kind of show you the differences and do a quick play around. Do I think it's worth it? Yes. As I have been playing with the device, I find I have 4 cam links, right? Everyone says that you can only connect one, which is absolute BS. You just have to read instructions. This is the 4th one, brand new in the box. I'm about to plug it up today. So there's basically going to be 2 4Ks and 2 regulars. So at $140 a piece, 4 of these versus this is a smarter idea. You know what I'm saying? Because 4 of these is going to set you back almost $600. This is going to set you back exactly $600, but it has a little bit more control. But that being said, I feel how can I say this? This is kind of crazy. This is a fantastic question, Adam. I feel I have more range doing it myself with the individual capture cards. I feel limited by this. The other thing is, and I don't know if you noticed this, but you're on YouTube, so as long as you're not using Safari, you can try this out. In a Chrome-based browser, say Chrome, Edge, Firefox, Bravo, I'm streaming in 4K right now. And that's a huge fight in the streaming community. And I would stand toe to toe with anybody and take that fight because I understand broadcast industry. So why do I stream in 4K when everyone else says, oh, you only need to stream in 720? One, I can. And when you have the opportunity, when you know, guarantee you have the opportunity to put out this much signal, why would you put out this much signal? Because what can happen, and I don't know that this is completely shot in the dark, but if it does happen, I'm ready. I might say something so profound that, you know, they decide they want to put me on a TV show tonight. And they say, can you send me a clip of your stream? Yes, I can send you a 4K clip of my stream. And they'll be like, wow, 4K? Really? Thank you. And they'll appreciate it. Now, at the next thing will be, all right, so how much you guys going to pay for finished second? And they're like, well, 1080 is $1,500 a finished second, but 4K is $3,000 per finished second. Okay, I'll send you my 4K clip. Oh, all you have is a 720 clip? We're going to have to put you on as a Carry-On, aka like a little bubble in the corner. Is that okay? So, like, I'll give you an example of like a little Carry-On. Bam, that's like a little Carry-On, right? This other me right here, this is an example of a Carry-On. So, graphic overlay is what we call it now. We try not to confuse people with the old technical terms. So if you only have a 720 clip, that's how much of you gets to be on screen. But if I send them a 4K clip, they'll put the whole thing on screen because the quality matches their quality. So why stream less than that if you have the ability to, just because someone else told you like, oh, you only need to stream in 720? No, I'm not doing that. I'm not. Okay. And yes, if my internet was bad and that's all I got it. Completely got it. When I'm doing my DJ's live streaming show with Scott and another guest, yes, I bring it down to 1080 because in 1080 with multiple guests, it's a better stream setup. But when it's just me and I'm here on YouTube and the internet is behaving properly, trust you me, I'm sending you 4K. You can see my zits better. All right. Anyway, so back to this guy. I just feel that personally, my experience, my control of the stream, things like that, and I think EW3, aka Alicio, will back me up on that. I feel I have more control. Just do it straight with Ecamm. But would I poo-poo this device? Absolutely not. This is fantastic, especially if you don't have the time and experience or you just don't want to fight it. If you just want to plug some stuff up and run with it, this is it. When they come out with a 4K version of this, I'll take everything I said back, 100%. Okay, now let's move. Let's see what else we got to say in the stream. Lanai, I don't care about your porn career. Tim said, would love to have you on the Tim and Jim show sometime. Absolutely. Let me know anytime I'm ready. I'll be there. It was very cool. Alicio said, got the mini last week. Hey, click the button. Man, this thing is messing me up recently. Oh, come on now. There we go. Halo. Alicio said got the mini last week. Liked it so much that he's going to get the pro today. If you're thinking you're going to do that, Alicio, let me say, check out the ISO. There's one last little bump that the ISO brings to the table. A Tim mini ISO. There was a reason why the ISO was the new move, and I forgot what it was, but let me look it up real quick. Let's go to this. Bang, bingo, bango, pickle, mango. So you get the 4 inputs, the output, like all of that stuff is the same. You got the Ethernet is there. It is USB-C Gen 1. What was it that they added that's different? Okay, all of those are the same. Fade to black is the same. Picture effects looks the same. Preset durations look the same. Man, I can't remember what it was that they added to ISO that made it better. But I know it was something important. You could do 1080-60. Man, why did I forget this? I literally just had this conversation with a friend of mine. because we were talking about that. One thing that is cool about this add-on too, if you have an extra monitor, you can do multi-view. If you look at the link that Chris Wood sent you earlier, they will show you the multi-view setup. And I think, yeah, maybe it's 2 outputs, Wood. I think that's what it is. But I see one HDMI output here, but, oh, man. Why don't they have... And again, Blackmagic, you make some fantastic stuff. Website isn't one of them. Oh, you go. You get 5 recording streams. That's what it is. So when you have it, good job, Felicia. Let me see if I drag you over there if that's quicker. Nope. I put my comments in a different position in order to do the next part of the question and answer show today, and it's messing me up. Anyway, yes. So the answer is right here. You get all of that, but you get 5 recording streams and clean feeds for editing. So if we were doing, let's see, I don't have Stream Deck plugged back in correctly yet. If we were doing this show and we have, 5 heads on the show and we have each one coming from a different camera, instead of just having the finished feed where the 5 heads are in place, say like a panel, I would have an individual video of each individual person from each individual camera recorded to the disc. And so I could go back in the Final Cut and do a much better multi-camera edit. So yeah, I think if you're going to go as far as to buy this, you should get the ISO. But again, I kind of want to get them to put out a 4K version because it's 2021 damn near. Why are we still trying to stream at 720? Like, I don't get it. So I'm going to pull up Alicia's comment again. Thanks for finding that, Chris Wood and Alicio. It's 5 outputs, not 2. Okay. Alicio said 720 is good enough. Yeah. Yeah, this is one of my favorite conversations. I love to teach people that, yes, you have what you need right now to get started. The only caveat to that, and I think it goes without saying, like some people will say that, an iPhone is good enough. Yes, it is. Some people say streaming in 720 is good enough. Yes, it is. And then some people will say just using your on-camera mic is good enough. Yes, it is. But no, it's not to all 3. Because you don't go into the game to score 2 points, basketball reference. You go into the game to score 40. You might have a time and you only score 2, and that's cool. But your intentions were to score 40. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're Kobe, your intentions was to score 80. Rest in peace, Mamba, even though I'm not a Laker fan. So set yourself in a position to move forward. It's a start where you start. Get that, yeah? Get in where you fit in, as we used to say in the game. Like, yeah, start with your iPhone. Start with your onboard microphone. Start with some house lights you pulled out of the garage to get your setup. But don't leave it that way. At some point, you got to come up, And so to learn about what the come up is just as important. But telling people that 720 is good enough is a bad statement because they'll leave it that way. And then when COVID is over and Facebook decides to open up Facebook streaming to 1080 to everybody but gamers, and YouTube decides to take their 4K limit and move it up to 8K, all of the people who were told to rock at 720 because it was good enough will get left behind, because people will say that, Mary in Poughkeepsie doesn't care whether you're in 720, 1080, or 4K. She doesn't, but she does. She doesn't know she cares. When she sees it, and then she go, man, I don't know what it is about that dude's thing, but when I watch this guy stream, it's so beautiful. Like, the lighting is nice. Like, I got that feel. And the people that say that are the same people that will watch Marshall, Markeith, Jim Carroll, Jim, same thing. You'll watch those really good high-end streams, live stream pros like David Foster. Like, you'll watch their streams and you go, man, their streams are so dope. And then you'll spend every other minute trying to figure out how to make yours look good enough at 720. These are the guys that watch Tiger play and just figure they can go and go out there and beat him without putting in time at the driving range. It's not going to happen. You know, we got to come off of that take a pill for your workout mentality and actually put it into work. So I asked the question in the group the other day, like, how much time do you folks put into practice every week? Because I see the same people asking the same question several times. And I'm like, they're obviously not turning on the software and practicing what you should do. Like, come on, just turn it on. Just only go live in the group. Let us help you suss it out live on camera. Like, we'll do it. Like, we're there. That's what we're there for. So, yeah, I think at some point you got to, like, go where you can. Good enough is cool, but step up. And I hate good enough mentality. If Lanai's still watching, he knows we've had this argument many, many times. I can't stand good enough mentality. It's whack. Okay? And I'll stand by that. I'll argue with anybody about it. Good enough mentality is whack. It's part of the reason why our country is where it is right now, because we got really happy with good enough. And nah, we didn't used to be like that. We used to strive for excellence. Okay. All right. Let's see. Joe, that's such awesome. He said, how do you put Skype into NDI? Okay, I'm going to show you real quick. The reason why the hashtag is funny is because Joe obviously watches the British Tech Network podcast, which we were talking about yesterday. So, Joe, let's get into that real quick. Let me open up Skype. While Skype is opening, I will swiggy swag the water. Okay. As soon as I did that, Joe, let me show you something real quick. I'm gonna pop in the live demo mode. Now, those of you who watch the show all the time, you know I'll go into live demo mode and I'll stay there for like a month. So right when I'm done, everybody type live demo mode to remind me to get out, because I always leave it on. There's a humongous red line, which I don't know if you guys can see it or not. There's a red line that tells you you're in live demo mode, but I need it to blink. All right, I'm going to quit Skype for a second, Joe, just so you can see how it comes in when you first turn it on. So we get over to Skype. I'm going to accidentally quit Ecamm. This is what it looks like normally. And you see Camlink, right? Last one's Camlink 4K. These two are currently not on because the A7 is not on and the overhead camera is not on. Okay, so I just go to my desktop here, type in Skype. Skype pops up. Simple as pie. Okay. Let me do that. And basically, I'm going to jump over to show you what it looks like when Skype is doing what it's supposed to do. No, right now, Chris, this is not my Mac Mini. This is my regular one. I will turn on the Mac Mini to show Joe the other side in a second. So let me pop on this. Okay, there's Skype. So I go into my settings. And if you come down here to calling, at the very bottom of the list of calling, there is this tab that says Advanced. When you turn on Advanced, it says Allow NDI right there. Oh, thank you, Chris. Good man. All right, sorry about that. Everybody's ears just probably went mad stupid for a second, and that would be bad. And something about my interface and Ecamm can't stand each other, so I'm going to get rid of this interface. I love it, but I hate it. Okay, so just by pressing this little switch right here, allow NDI usage, that's going to allow you to basically send this Skype signal to and from over the internet. Okay, so one of your first goals is to set that up. And by setting that up initially, when I come back to my main screen, you'll see this is how your Skype is put in here. Okay, now one next option in Ecamm, and it might be different in other software, but in Ecamm, I need to go to my NDI output and pick one of these, resolutions. So what this does by setting this NDI output, this would allow me, if I had a person who was recording with something that had NDI built in, I would be sending this signal to them, like what you see on the stream right now. I would be able to send it to them over the network up to 1080. So basically, and now you see here as a camera, my NDI camera source comes up. So if I take myself out, then that person would be the guest is live. If I put myself back on, then I would be there. Now it does matter what order you put them in. So you would just build scenes over here so that you can have a scene that was, say, just you, and then a scene that was the two of you, and then a scene, one more scene. I'm saving that. That's a different question. A scene that was just a Skype guest. So you could sort of basically go between, you know, the two up, the one head, go back to the two up, and now my guest is talking. And then, yeah, when we do this on DJ's live streaming, I have 3 guests, and I just basically build scenes sort of that way. Let's put that back where it goes so my fingers don't mess up. And then take this guest out. But yeah, that's easy. I mean, that's basically how you do it. Hey, watch this. I'm going to turn off live demo mode. I don't know why I always forget to do that. So, yeah, this is like, and this is dope because what this means is over here on the table, I have a Mac Mini. And that Mac Mini is connected to a 50-inch TV up here. I could turn Skype on that unit, and it would show up down here as the other setup. Is it? I don't have a keyboard, so I'm not going to show you at the moment. But yes, if I turn on that Mac Mini, one more Skype head would pop up on the bottom of my screen, so you see 2 separate Skypes. And then so, Joe, what this is really good for, and because obviously you do pay attention to British Tech Network, we've been doing that show for over 12 years now, and Ewan has an array of 6 Mac Minis. So what Ewan used to do until yesterday, we would have the 6 Mac Minis. Each individual person would call in on a Mac Mini. So if I go here, you'll see where it says BTN Studio, British Tech Network Studio, line 3. That's my call. When I call in, it's be funny, I should wake his butt up right now. If I call line 3, I become that top, you know how it is on the show, like I'm always the top left corner, right? And then Jeff calls in on BTN Studio line 1, then Jeff's down underneath me, and then Cal calls in another one, and then Patrice calls in another one, and then if we have another guest, like we have 6 minis, so we can have up to 6 guests on the show at one time. And those before were all brought in basically through capture cables, and then capture cables into the wire cam that's running on the Mac Pro, and then they were all wired to an editing desk. I think I need sorry, Felicia. Let me do this real quick. Is that better? Sorry. Felicia said, please turn up the audio a little bit. So I did that. It was really weird. Before I get sidetracked, I'm going to come back to that. Something about the latest update in Ecamm, my volume actually is changing according to scenes, which is really strange. But I'll suss that out, or I'll just get rid of this Evo 4 because it does that. And also, I think I need a Fed head for this reason, but I have it. It's sitting on the table over there. Not a Fed head. I'll show you in a second. Anyway, Joe, so what we would do is take those Mac Minis, and they went into a mixing table, and it's like a Soundcraft 12-channel mixing channel, and each one of those mixing channels were able to independently control audio. So before NDI, like we literally needed 6 Mac Minis and then a mixing desk and 6 capture points into a Mac Pro, and then bring all of that stuff in, plus Ewan's main camera and green screen, and it was just crazy. Just absolutely crazy. But now with NDI, we could basically use any devices that can take Skype. You can use 6 iPhones, you can use 6 Mac Minis, and 6 PCs, like whatever you wanted to do. And you could put Skype on each one, or you can have like 2 calls on each Skype and then bring that in through NDI, and Ecamm will see that up to 5 just built in. Or you could do like a Zoom pull in And yeah, so there's some really incredible things you can do with NDI. One of the best on the table right now for most folks is take your iPhone, use an app like Filmic Pro, because Filmic Pro is gorgeous. Use NDI tools on your phone, which I believe is $9. And you could take this incredible camera that's built into the back, say on an iPhone 11 Max, and put it anywhere on the same network and be able to bring in another shot. And so what a lot of folks do, like myself, right behind this iMac is my iPhone 8 and my iPhone 10, and then an iPad and another iPad. So you can basically put NDI app on all of those guys and use them as remote cameras for your setup. So yeah, it's kind of incredible, and you can do some amazing things. Gotta send some shouty outs right here to Markeith. We was just talking about you, and then you showed up. My man LA is in the house. What's up, Lamuel? And then Felicia yelled at me about my volume, but I got it. So thank you, Felicia. And I want to do an opposite of Ice Cube. Hi, Felicia. Okay. Oh, Kaala sends me a long one. Let me read this. Now, I know most folks are going to get Kaala wrong, but I know how to say it right because I'm here. Nice photo, by the way. Been using Ecamm for a couple of months and done a couple of live stream. Once a live training for some companies and the other Zoom interview. I've used Ecamm. I've also used Ecamm more customizable. Back on. Stay on longer because I'm busy. Uh-oh. It just went crazy. Okay. It's more customized virtual camera in my car. My question is, why not OBS or slobs? You know, that's a good question. Slobs, for those of you who are new, is there you go. Slobs is Streamlabs OBS. Okay, so when all of this stuff came out, now this is just borderline crazy. Let me explain you my experience. I started out in Boinks. Boinks used to have broadcast thing. It was called Boinks 3, and they eventually become what is now Be Live, right? It was a complicated mess. It was dope at the time because it was available, but it was a complicated mess. Eventually, the OBS came out. Eventually Wirecast came out, and Wirecast was just way better. But the problem with Wirecast to me is there were two things in it. The basic one was $500, and the pro one was $9.99. I used Wirecast for over a decade. The show that I was just speaking about, British Tech Network, we were sponsored by Wirecast, so we used Wirecast for that entire 12 years. Wirecast eventually got co-opted by OBS, where somebody basically wrote an open source version of Wirecast, and they are almost identical. Their UI is a little different, but the way that they do things, their methodology, their thinking is almost identical. So when you copy a steaming turd, you get a less steaming turd. And I say that in the best ability. No, it's because Wirecast is fantastic. It's been out for years. Broadcast people use it, whatever. It's great. But when OBS basically tried to do what Wirecast was doing, but do it with no money, they got about 90% of it right, but they were literally copying something that wasn't perfect, you know? And they brought most of the headaches with them. So if you're me, if you're a nerd and you eat, sleep, drink digits all day, yeah, you figure it out and you make it work. But for the general people, like they would literally pull their hair out. And when we were setting up OBS like 5 years ago, my buddy Topher and I are both like uber nerds. And we spent hours that first day just getting a basic stream to Facebook. And then, you know, we would fight with it. We do things. You got to go in and figure out what your broadcast rates were, set your keyframes, you know, set your codecs. Like it was a lot. And we understood this. I sold broadcast equipment at Video Life for years. Kala, if you've been to Oahu, you know in Kaka'ako, we had an electronics store called Video Life. That's my family store. Like we sold broadcast equipment to KITV, KHON, KGMB, like everybody. Like, you know, the Disney movies that would come out here and shoot, we supported them. Hawaii Five-0 and all of that stuff, we supported them. We sold them majority of their equipment and things. So we've been in production forever. But even with that stuff, like, if you'll remember back in the days, whipping around Honolulu, we had our little racing club, Kaizo Speed Gear. That's where you buy a car and you add a bunch of parts and you make it sound cool and you go fast. And you were always spending every weekend in the garage tweaking on your car. And you would take a basically $18,000 Civic and turn it into an $80,000 race car, parts at a time. And then I got older and I didn't have time for that. So I just bought a BMW. It's faster than any of those race cars I ever built. And everything it does is just perfect. Like, you just buy it and you get in and you drive. I don't change oil. I don't rotate tires. I don't do any of that stuff. I drive it. I drop it off on Kapiolani. They do some stuff. They call me back and they bring it back to me. I drive it some more. And when it's time, Ecamm is like the BMW experience. You turn it on. You set a couple things to your liking. Get that seat adjusted. Get that height right. Get the stereo how you want it. Flex the mirrors. Ecamm. OBS is throw a bunch of parts in your garage and try to build a car from scratch like you're Henry Ford. That's the difference. That is the difference in a nutshell. So you answer your own question. Yes, it's correct. And yes, it has a less learning curve. And yes, it's easier. Yes, is it missing some things like the ability to just pull in another gas or to size pips, all kind of weird stuff? Yes, but those limitations actually allow you to flex creativity, because we basically have figured out how to almost do everything that you're not supposed to be able to do at Ecamm. There's guys out there that have figured it out. Lemuel, Chris, we just tweak on it. Felicia, we tweak on it until we make it do what we want it to do. But just being able to let almost anybody, I would put this in the hands of my sister and be like, yo, sis, just go ahead and do your little live stream where you and your girlfriends talk about wine and how much your husbands are pain in the butt. Sorry, brother-in-law Tony, I love you. But she could do it. Like, my sister is almost 60 and she could do it. She just pop it up, and she's not a computer person at all. Like, at all. She was the person that had the VCR clock flashing 12 o'clock right twice a day. That would be my big sister. But she could open up Ecamm right now and throw a stream together, and y'all would wish she never did. That's a different story, but that's the answer in a nutshell. So it's just one of those things where it's that simplicity, and you can just dive right in and do your thing, and you don't have to think about all of the knobs and turning and all of that crazy stuff. And what that then allows you to do is release your pure creativity. And then so way back in the beginning of this show, probably before half of y'all showed up, Tim and Chris and I were having a conversation, Alicio, having a conversation about time and attention. That is the money shot right now. Time and attention. You got more time and attention to flex the beautifulness of your stream, and not like, what is the key frame rate? How many interval frames do I need? And all of that nonsense that a little BS and slobs want you to do. So that's it in a nutshell. Mark Keith says, I started with OBS, but once Ecamm came on the scene, I switched over. It's way more user-friendly. Absolutely. Okay, Ryan says, I love what you're doing with your stream content, but I love it when you do tech content like last weekend. Absolutely. Thank you. Felicia said, great analogy. Chris also said, great analogy. Ecamm BMW. Yeah, it's funny. We in the group today, there was a comment about why can't I stream to IG Live? IG Live and Facebook Live, it's the same company, so why can't I stream to the same thing? Not picking on you, Brian St. Clair. I just want to repurpose my analogy. I said a Rolls Royce and a Mini are both owned by the same company, BMW. You guys know I like BMW just in case. But the Italian Job with Ghost or X5 would have been a whole different movie. just because it's the same company don't mean they want you to do the same thing. IG wants to maintain that experience of done with mobile. It's already been cheated on enough by people who shoot with their DSLR and then or mirrorless and shoot these epic shots and then go in Lightroom and edit them. You know, this used to be a big fight in the beginning of Instagram. Uh, and they would edit them and put in their curves, throw their LUTs on, make these beautiful photos, and then they would post it. And they would not say that they shot it with the DSLR. And in the beginning, we always knew because an iPhone 3GS time when Instagram came out, like you knew the iPhone camera wasn't doing that. You knew the Galaxy Note 1 or 2 at that time wasn't doing that. So people used to literally jump on folks and be like, look, if you shoot this with a DSLR or a mirrorless, at that time there was only one mirrorless on the market, you need to hashtag that and let people know. Because it's supposed to be Instagram, not shot it, edit, and post it latergram. So in the very beginning, there was even a hashtag latergram where you knew that you went and took the photo and did a little work. And then app like Visco and Darkroom and Firelight, Insight, some of these other apps came out that allow you to edit photos, Photoshop Express, all of that. This stuff all came out, and then people got more accustomed to highly curated, highly edited photos. But again, if you listen to the masters like Gary Vee, Instagram's not supposed to be an art gallery. Instagram is supposed to be where you go and instantly send a telegram in order to get that, instant communication and feedback into which you can conversate on and sort of build community around. This was dope about live streaming. Like, I don't get to do anything fancy to make this dope. I just turn the camera on and then press the wrong stuff and leave the mic too low. And then, Felicia be like, hey, dummy, your mic is low. And you just pop it up, But you guys are catching the real me. Like, there's no fake, there's no fluff. Look, I didn't even do my hair for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just come in there and you build community, you answer questions on the fly. So, yeah. That's why you don't want to take, this setup and just feed it to Instagram Live, because that's not what they're trying to create over there. There's a right tool for the right job. And hopefully Facebook will do something where they, I guess, kind of promote the fact that you can watch these live streams directly in the Facebook app. It's just, they don't really promote it. That's on us. But yeah, there's that. Let me go and check and see. Thank you, Carla. I'm glad you saw that. I appreciate that. And then my brother June again, he's always wiser than me. He says it's made for Mac by Mac people. Yeah, that's the other. I do think that is one of the key elements of Ecamm versus everything else. Is it just was designed with that Mac flair. Whether you guys know it or not, the boys actually come from Avid. The twins, they used to work for Avid and worked in sort of the video and Pro Tools side, so they kind of know what they're doing when it comes to this, and they're building it up, man. They're building it up nicely. So yeah, I appreciate you. Aaron says, "What happened to your microphone, the Neat King B?" Yes, it is. It's here. I love it. I still love it. There's nothing wrong with it. I was just flexing various microphones to kind of show possibilities. And one of the things I found out after I got a hold of it, first, the pod mic was just impossible to get when I was upgrading the mic. I probably would have still be using my AKG 2020 back there, Perception 2020, Perception 220, sorry. But it died on me, and the way that microphone is built, I couldn't get the diaphragm on the bottom open, because if I could, I would have just gave it to my dad and had him resolder it and fix the capsule. But you need a special tool to get that open. I needed a mic, and as I looked around, what was available and of dope quality was the King B, so I bought it. I use it. I still love it. I highly recommend it. I tell anybody, it's a $400 mic that they're selling right now for like $100. So you should buy it. Where everything else is like $100 mics that are being sold for $400. That being said, it weighs 3.5 pounds. So it's killing my arm over here. And then we tried, my brother and I tried like rearranging the bottom so that like the XLR cable, it comes down. We tried using the right angle, it wouldn't work because of the shock mount. Like, it was just problematic for my setup, but it is a fantastic mic. Once I was able to get a hold of this pod mic, thanks to my buddy Brad Watanabe, who bought too many and then was like, hey, I got an extra one. Do you want it? I was like, now. I was sending Venmo before he finished his sentence, and he drove over here from the other side of the island and brought it to me. And so I got my pod mic, and I love it. It's actually modeled around voices, and even someone with a boomy, raspy, half the time sinus-inflicted voice like myself, the pod mic still sounds nice. So if you can get one, right now, it's my number one recommendation is this. I would say my number two recommendation based off of price alone would be the King B. And then if price is not your problem, SM7B all day, any day. But then SM7B requires one thing. This. Okay. I say Fed head because that's just common terminology to me. I say cloud lifter, also common terminology to me. People that buy cloud lifters don't buy yourself a Rolls. This one is probably around about 20 years old, but it rolls. This is a microphone preamp. This will add some extra gain because this pod mic in this particular interface, the gain isn't as good as I would want it to be. Every time I come on, Felicia or my brother or my buddy Ryan always got to remind me to crank it up a little bit. And I have it on almost full blast. I don't want to distort. One of my only complaints about Ecamm is I want actual VU meters because I have been trained by professional like my brother and my dad to watch the meters, and I can't. That doesn't tell me anything. It's green, yellow, red. Like, I know what it's supposed to mean, but I want to see the number. I'm a Virgo. I need info, son. I need the actual numbers. So without going through audio hijack and doing some, I'm trying to set up Black Hole. It's a pain in the butt, but I want to be able to see what I'm pulling. I did find a couple of shows back a software website that kind of shows you it, but I just want to see it in Ecamm. So what this will allow me to do with an SM7B or like this pod mic or many of the dynamic mics out there, they're great for fighting noise problems. They won't pick up background noise like your high-speed spinning MacBook Pro fan or an iMac screaming or, cat in the neighbors. My neighbor listens to weird like gamer music. You won't hear any of that. So it's good for deflecting noise, but they also tend to be quiet in the dynamic range side. So this, I plug the mic in here. It gives me some extra dynamic range. One reason why I would pick a Rolls over a Cloud Lifter any day is half the price, does the exact same thing. And then if you don't have space for this, a Fed head is just a little thing about yo big. XLRs on both ends. You plug it in line, and it'll give you some gain too. It isn't going to be as gainful as a Rolls or a Cloud Lifter, but hey. And they last. That thing is old as Methuselah, and she still go. Okay. Eddie. Hi. Good to see you here. Eddie-chan. Mo genki desu ka? And then Felicia says, yes, the pod mic is special. Okay, I wanted to do another thing real quick. Before we get started, let me remind you, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm probably going to start separating the stream as an experiment, but I'm going to save it for October. So in October, we're going to separate the stream. We're going to do Facebook on, say, Tuesdays and YouTube on Saturdays and see if that changes the way the show flows. If it doesn't, I'll put it back together and do the restream thing. But it's just going to be a test. And part of that is there's just certain things that I can do if I don't put restream in the middle and let Ecamm talk directly to Facebook or Ecamm talk directly to YouTube. Right now I'm using Restream. I am putting together a Restream tutorial to show you how it works. But another thing that I'm thinking about doing for the Saturday show is instead of using Ecamm, use Restream directly so I can bring in guests through Restream and show you that. So yeah, that's going to be it. Before we do that, if you haven't done so already, again, remember, please subscribe to the YouTube channel because that's where most of the magic happens. Matter of fact, I have a tutorial coming out today, I hope, as soon as I finish editing. Chris, I got to show you something new I figured out in Final Cut, which is mind-blowing. But anyway, we'll get to that. そして、元気は、ちょっと妹ちゃんの質問がありますけど、元気、質問、一番マイクロは数と、ボーカルと音楽 for MPK はどうですか？ これは何ですか？ MPK は。MPK は全然知らない。あ、赤い MPK。Hold on, let me see. I think that's what she means. そうか。ちょっと待ってください。Hey, why are you out of frame? Boink. Do that. You mean this MPK? Okay. Yeah. Good question. どうしようかな。Just come to my house and pick up a mic. I'll give you one. I got one for you. Don't buy anything. It's for my nephew. Matter of fact, he can come and try this one because it matches his gigantic afro. So he can try this one because it's just kind of sitting here. But yeah, somewhere between my collection of mics, I got some. Just bring your butt over here and pick it up, but bring food. Love you. That's my little sister Eddie right there. Alex has a question. No, none of the rest of y'all get any free stuff, by the way. She's family. Don't get it twisted. I know what you guys are thinking. Hey Doc, I'm gonna come to your house and pick up some equipment. No, stay away from my house. And plus, she makes good food. Hey, come on, face space. Alex said, may I see your lighting? How can I illuminate someone with glasses? It did it again. See, June? It did it again. Thank you, June. Yeah, what happens here is for some reason when I switch scenes, it's actually changing volumes in with the various scenes. And that is driving me absolutely batty. I'm going to have to figure out a way to stop that. Okay, so anyway, I think this is good. Let me know if it goes off again, June. Basically, I can show you my lighting. I have to plug in my iPhone because my GoPro, my dad stole it back. But basically, yeah, the thing about glasses, this is why I kind of put my hat on because it helps because you can see I glare. And you'll notice that in my videos, normally I'm not wearing these bougie chrome heart glasses. I put them on for the stream because these lenses I actually had made in Japan. So these are like really incredible Hoya high contrast lenses, and they have a better anti-reflective coating on it. But these lenses in Japan are like $130. These lenses in the United States are like $600 because it's just ignorant. It's super ignorant. So I literally yesterday just got my box from Warby Parker so that I can order new glasses with a better AR coating. The key to sort of controlling glasses flare is AR coating. The other key is going to be to elevate your lighting. Okay, I need iPhone cable, and actually I can't do that. I need iPhone to USB-C cable. Anyway, I'll pull it up in just a second. So basically, I have an Avenger light stand here in the corner. It's a really strong metal stand, but my light is literally 5-6 inches higher than me. But it's over there at a 45-degree angle, pointing down on a 24-inch dome. So the top of the light basically ends up about 31 inches higher than me. It's pointing down diagonally across the front of my face. The other light is over there about 3-4 feet away, and it's only on to fill the side. Like it's not really doing much. It's just adding a little fill. But the best way to handle glasses is if this is your face, you want the light 45-degree angle up and going across you, but it requires a really, really big dish. If you are using something like this, where all you have is a small light source, it's not going to work. It's just hard to do. So that's one of the reasons why I'm using a 24-inch disc. I would use a 36-inch disc if it would fit, but my bookshelf is right there. A 36 won't fit, so I'm using a 24-inch dome. Without going crazy on money, go to your local Ross, Target, Walmart, Kmart, whatever you got, and buy a plastic shower curtain about like this color, right? Just a plain white, sorry, gang, plain white shower curtain. Find a way to rig it just say 20 to 30 degrees off of your face, and then put the light behind it and turn the light on full blast and let it soften that glow, and that should help kill some of the glare because there's no direct lighting. But the majority of this is coming from that iMac right there. If I didn't have to use that iMac, to look things up, it eliminates the glare. So one of the things I like to do is when I remember, I go back to a dark mode screen and it takes some of that off. But when I hit a white screen, bam, it just comes back. So I kind of try to, flip to dark mode screen. I run my computers in dark mode for live streaming. All of that stuff helps. If your eyes can handle it, run dark mode. And the other thing is just kind of up and away from your face and down. Come in at angles. If you're direct lighting you're going to glare. So that's always been a problem in movies, which is why you see the fake glasses people in movies, they use those really, really flat lenses. And that's to kind of sort of take some of it off. Now, one more thing that should work, and I've been meaning to try this, but for this camera lens setup, I don't have the right one. I believe you should be able to go out and get yourself a circular polarizing filter. Okay? It will be called a CPL. When you look at your lens, let me take this off real quick. When you look at your lens, inside here, there's a little number, and it normally has like a 0 with a line through it, your military style 0. And this particular one says 49. Okay. Depending on your camera, this will be different. But if you can find a circular polarizing filter that fits your lens, I think I said lens the first time, I meant filter. If you can find a circular polarizing filter, you should be able to put that on your lens and then sit your camera up how you normally do. And you basically grab the polarizer and you twirl it until the glare disappears. We use those when we are shooting water and you're trying to see like a fish, or if you're shooting products in behind a glass, like a store window, you rotate the polarizing filter to sort of help with that. Works great for shooting through cars and things of that nature. So a circular polarizing filter should help you. Or again, just tweak your lights a little bit. And if you need to put something to soften it, it's called a scrim. And you can buy them. They're expensive, but just go get a shower curtain from a department store and put the light through the shower curtain to soften the light up, and that will help you. I hope that covers it. What? Eddie, I assume that you and June are talking $100 to $150 for mic is not so expensive. That is peanuts. That's actually considered cheap. That is the convenience store price of a mic. Like that's actually super cheap. Let's see. Eddie's going to cook me some food, and Chris is intrigued about the Final Cut ref. I'm scared to show it on this because it might just break everything. But let me show what I was intending to show. This one goes out to Cecilia Greenbar. She had a question where she wanted to know how to put the comments window onto Ecamm. And not like click on June's comment right here, which the AKG 120, that's the one I was talking about, the AT2020. The mic that I'll probably give him, June, is the AT2020 under the Samsung Q2U, but it's basically the same thing. Yeah, all of those are dope. But instead of doing it this way, she wants to have the comments on screen the whole time. So I built the scene, and let's see if it works. All right, I think that's it. Dang it, it took my volume down again. I really got to fix that. That drives me absolutely batty. I'm going to put the mixer up on screen so I can do that faster. Let me know if the audio levels are okay because I had to, I got to manually jockey this. I think I'm going to call the boys and see if we can't figure this out. Hey, Kiala, thanks for coming by, brother. Oh, you're going to Waimanalo. It's a good day to pick up some eggs. I love going out there and getting eggs. It's really good. Anyway, so let me show you how I set this up. It's weird. I felt like I have some frame rate issues. The audio went down again. It should be okay at this point, Chris. Oh, I got it. That's a thumbs up. See, there's Chris's comment down here in the bottom. I'm going to go into live demo mode and to give her an example of how I set this up. One thing that I would probably do, remember like right here, you can still see the splash fire in my background. I don't like that, so I'm going to show you how to fix that. Let's jump into live demo mode for a second. Boom. All right. So hopefully you guys can see this. And now I'm going to have to remember to pay attention to my audio. First thing I'm going to do, create a new scene. So you guys can't see anything, but now I'm going to go and click on share screen. And then there's my desktop. Then it's going to say current application. I'm going to change current application to be Ecamm Live, comments and reactions. Okay, so now it's in the middle. I don't like it in the middle. So you're going to check off Zoom app window. Okay, now it's in the corner. And then you're going to take this picture in picture. Let me swap that, put on my camera. And then go back and then swap it again. There we go. Okay, wait, I have two cameras. I don't need two cameras. Switch this to, I don't know, like a 16:9. And why do I have two cameras? Let me swap this back again. Swap back. Where's my camera picker? I'm going to come up here and turn off that cam link. There we go. And then swap it back again. There we go. Now I can just make my head whichever size I want. I'll go back to wide, put it up there, pull this guy down here, and now you can have all your comments on screen at one time. If I wanted to make it larger, I could just sort of shrink it up that way and expand it this way to make it, bigger so that people can see. And I'll try to like sort of match them and then take my main picture here and put it back over. And then, yeah. So here's the part I don't like. I don't like where you're seeing sort of my background. So in order to solve that, you want to go to preferences. It's Command comma, but I'll do it the hard way for you guys. Yeah, I don't even remember how to do it in here because I do it by, never mind. I'll stick to Command comma. It's just faster for me. Okay, you go under, I believe, General, and I want to turn off my background. Bam. There you go. Solid black picture. Then I don't have to worry about it. So this will be a good, kind of setup. So you can see the comments, the full comments, and just have it on your screen at all time. So now if somebody adds another comment, you'll see that they are in real time. And that is how you do it. So let's try this because I'm Doc and I'm weird. And it should pop up in a second. There's probably like a 15, 20 second delay between, it was only 10 seconds. That's pretty good for 4K. So yeah, you want to square? All right, I'm game, Chris. I'll do square. I'm not a fan of square, but Yeah, I guess if you wanted to be big headed like that, get it? That's funny. I like round. I don't know why. That's my favorite one. Maybe because I have a large cranium. Why him blinking? I don't know, but yeah, that's basically how you would do it, Cecilia. And then if I come out of live demo mode, you'll see it full screen, sort of doing its thing. So that's one way to do it. I personally probably wouldn't do it that way. I personally would do a Streamlabs chat bot. I think it would be better, but it depends if you do your chats through, say, Facebook or YouTube or Twitch or whatever. I just personally think that in this particular realm, I would probably use a chat bot. I just think it's a better setup. I'm not a I'm not a huge fan of putting this over there. Number one, it messes up my screen flow. Excuse me. Number two, like if you are working off of a single monitor, is much harder because you just run out of screen real estate. You can use your like expose keys and put virtual desktops and do it that way. But yeah, I'm not a fan. Not a fan at all. Yeah, this is so weird. When I do that, it's so weird. Okay, Chris says, well, don't do that. How do you? I forgot how to fix that. I know there's a setting for that. All right. Anyway, I'll do it that way because this is killing me. Chris said he saw someone doing it with a green screen. Oh man, the green screen comments. I'm gonna have to cave in and do a tutorial on green screen because that question comes up so much. See, it did it again. Come on, audio, stop messing with me. It did it. It comes up so much in the group about how should I do a green screen? How should I do a green screen? And I'm gonna say over and over again, don't. If you don't have to. Sorry if I yelled. Don't. If you don't have to, don't. It's just a pain in the butt. It's not worth it. It's like green screen to me falls into the same category as convertible and boat. Seems good until you got one. Don't buy a boat unless you really need it, and don't get a convertible unless you really need it. Yeah, green screen is there, but I think I'm gonna have to show folks how to do it because it comes up over and over again. And even when my buddy LA was doing the green screen, I was like, don't teach people that because it's horrible. It requires a lot of light, and most people underestimate the amount of light. If you bought 6 lights and you're ready to do a green screen, go buy 6 more and then do it. No matter what you think, you got double that light because it's going to be just insanity. Chris said, I mean, use Facebook comments in Chrome, change the. Oh, got it. See, Marquis said, I used to use green screen all the time until I fixed up my office space, and now I don't need to use it at all. And that's true because I did the same thing. That was exactly me. If I look over here, and I explore you to go to my channel. It's YouTube. Learn how to type doc. YouTube.com/DocRock. And go and look at some of my older videos. You'll see the ones that are green screen. My Photoshop tutorials used to be on green screen, and they were good because I know how to do it. But then you go back further before I knew how to do it, and you'll be like, whoa, that's just nasty. Let me go ahead and embarrass myself real quick. All right, this is the channel, and you look at, let's see, like these Photoshop ones in here, those are green screen. But if I go way back where I used to just cheat and put up like the black cloth and just do it over the black cloth. Again, all of those black cloth videos were designed around not wanting to clean my room at the time. Man, I got to go in here and clean this mess up. This little area right here is when I discovered that thumbnail consistency was sort of key to the game. Okay, here's a green screen. Look, it's probably not going to play well because I'm streaming in 4K and using all my bandwidth. But let me cheat and take this and drop it down to 720 real quick. I'm not going to actually play it. I just want to load the screen and stop it. And here we go. Did it again. Okay, so yeah, see that? You can just see all this green area leaking out behind my head. There was green on the shoulder, and I actually had a headlight. You can see in my headphone strap, I had a headlight. I don't know what I thought was cool about these glasses with the yellow screen. But trying to maintain not only the lighting required for the green screen to look good, but then trying to white balance my lovely caramel sexiness against Jerome's basic pure transparency. Jerome's going to kill me for that. It was a lot. It was a lot. And I can see some spill right here above my head, which you guys can't see. But if you go and find this video, just look for Untitled Tech Episode 1. You'll see. And like this was, again, when it was relatively good. Like, not bad. So I'm going to go back further and find you some even more green screen nastiness. Let's see. These were on back backdrops when I didn't feel like doing it. I need to find a good old episode of Jerome and I doing nonstop tech with the wavy green screen. Like, it was pure obnoxiousness. Pure obnoxiousness. They're so old that, oh, here we go. This is another one. Again, I'm going to just jump into the middle and press pause. Hopefully it'll still load this still. And I hope I didn't land on somewhere where we were doing an overlay. Okay. Like, bruh. This is just horrible. And again, this is pretty good. I'm using like 1K broadcast light overhead to sort of cover the green screen. And man, I was young. This was 2011. Damn, 9 years ago, I wasn't old. Oh, speaking of mics, this right here is an AKG tube mic. I think this mic right now is probably around $2,400. Eddie, $150 mic is expensive. Yeah, look at that. iPhone 2 on the table. Like, this is old school. And I take it back. It wasn't that old. This is an iPhone 3. But when you see the video play and you see us moving around, again, no good separation in the shoulder in the background because the green screen was like a couple feet behind us, where you really, if you're going to do green screen, you need 6 to 8 feet of space between the back of your head and the actual green screen. And paper's better than fabric. Fabric is good if you can make it tight, but you need 6 to 8 feet behind the back of your head in the screen. And most people don't do that because everybody bought the Elgato because everyone else said it was good. And so you spend $150 on the Elgato, or you spend $30 on the crappy fabric from Amazon. And yes, nowadays technology is so good that any green will work. But a real Westcott chroma key fabric that costs like $500 and is made not to have creases and is made to be perfectly evenly toned and is made to be matte so that there's no light reflecting off of it. Sure, if you're going to buy a Westcott or Lastalite green screen, I might let you slide. But if you're going to buy a $100 or less piece of fabric from the dry goods store, or you're going to buy the Elgato pull-up, it's not a good look because you're going to have a really hard time lighting it properly to get it done right. Is what it is, right? Now, if you can tell, back behind my head, it did it again. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris, for paying attention. That corner where Darth Vader is, that's green. This whole half of the room is painted green because I used to use that because then it was perfect. When you're going to do it, if you're going to paint your thing green, sure, boom, Roscoe green screen paint, about $200 a can. That works. If you're going to take your room and straight up paint it, sealing the floor. Now,
that also means you got to get some plaster and build a swoop curve so that there's no hard corners. So you're going to have to basically put drywall tape and build a curve to eat the corner. Again, if you're going to do it, do it. If you're just going to buy some fabric because you just don't want to clean your room, it's not going to come out how you think. I'm just telling you, it's so difficult to get it straight. Now, I'm going to show you what the room looked like when I did the room, and then I'm going to leave y'all the heck alone. Go back to my channel. The last couple ones before I decided I'm going to stop doing it. And again, the only reason, actually, to be honest with you, the reason why I stopped doing it was because going back to edit this stuff later was a pain in the butt. Because in order to edit it clean, it would just eat up a lot of time and resources for nothing. And at that time, it wasn't even about live streaming. It was about editing. Okay, here we go. Let's get this here. This is relatively clean, and I'm still going to scream horrible because I know better. All right, let's move this into the middle. I know, now I can put it back on Zoom, the application window. There you go. Now, this is relatively clean, and I don't remember if this background was moving or not, but I don't want to play it and screw up the screen. But even this guy, I took all the light off of me and just filled the wall. And this is a solid painted wall. But one of the challenges was the bottom of hats tend to be green. This one's gray. I started shopping for hats that didn't have green underbill. But standard issue baseball hat is a green underbill because of reflection off the grass, outfielders. That's why it's green. It wasn't a style thing. It just was better for seeing in the middle of the dirt. And yeah, even with this, if I look at it and get critical, I can find problems. I can still see a soft green halo on the edge, and this is tight. Like, this is going into Final Cut and using a Hawaii key. Like, it's a higher grade keying software. It's not cheap. And even then, it just wasn't perfect. So at this time, I was editing on a 2015 iMac with like 64 gigs, and just all of the after time editing was just dumb. So if you don't have to, don't do it. Like, if you can't build a purpose space, I got it. The green screen is going to help you. You got to make sure you get a good quality one. You got to make sure that it's tight. You got to make sure there's no wrinkles. You got to make sure you probably dedicate about $500-600 a light just to lighting the green screen, and then another $500-600 a light to lighting you. So Marquise, that 3 light kit that you bought from Newer, you would literally take 2 of those and do just the screen. And then you take the other one and put it off 45-degree angle and butterfly your face. And then it might look good. But, sorry. I'm going to have to stop soapboxing it. Because, yeah, if you could, don't do it. All right. I'm going to try this. Hopefully this doesn't break the stream. But this is dedicated to my boy Chris. Because I know he's an FCP geek like myself. And I just discovered this, and it is so dope. Let me quit Skype because it's taking up space. And I'm going to load this project. I'm going to just get to the part and hopefully not break anything. First of all, now that I've shown Cecilia, I can put my comments back where they go. It's driving me crazy. Don't do that. Don't accidentally do that. Okay, that's back in place. Here, let me do this real fast. Most of you guys know better, but this is how I like it. Big, gigantic, I'm blind, I can't see, comment window. This is it. Okay, I remember this time to turn the mic back up. I definitely got to send a note to support and ask the boys if there's anything we can do to fix that. So let me find a good example of what I'm talking about here. Give me just 1 second, Mr. Chris. All right, this might be it. Let me zoom in. All right. I might have to just do this manually because it's going to mess everything up. But if I'm dragging this. Okay, yeah, this will work. This will work. I don't know if I can play this because it's going to look goofy. It might just bust the stream, but let's do this. Here we go. All right, so I'm in Final Cut. And I'm going to just zoom this up just a smidgen. When you're editing in Final Cut, there's what's known as the standard issue YouTube jump cut. I'm just going to drag this across real quick so you can see from this scene to this scene, there's a jump. Because I had to edit what I was saying. My mouth was just kind of in a weird position. And normally when you play this may not work. If you happen to have you can see there's just a drastic little jump. They added a new dissolve called flow. And in your dissolve thing, there's only 4. Pick the one that's called flow. And put it back where your clip was going to be. And this is now the flow dissolve inserted. What it basically does is it morphs from one scene to the other. So if I put this at the beginning of that clip and tap through it, you can't even see the jump. I just went through it and you can't see the jump anymore because it blended the jump. So not that this will play properly, but when I post this video later today, hopefully, or tomorrow, and you see it, watch the jump cuts. They're going to be so smooth. I will leave a couple in on purpose because YouTube, that's a different subject. But in order to get rid of jump cuts, use the flow dissolve. And I set this for, let's see, Control D. I set it for 8 frames out of a 4K 60 frame clip. So in a 24 or 30p, it'd be like 16 frames, or did I say that right? No, it'd be like 4 frames. This is really tight, but I just covered that little section. So you're going to have to play with it. Work somewhere good. We see like 10 and 15 frames, half a second. Don't go too crazy. I normally keep it down to like 1/10 of a second. But bruh, when you start doing your jump cuts with flow, and I will do a whole tutorial on this when I figured it out, but this is new. It's in the latest update of Final Cut, and it is absolutely legit. Like absolutely legit. It's so cool. When I did it and I got it working, mind blowing. And you guys know me, I do this a lot. I talk with my hands. It even flowed out parts where I got my hand in the shot and I needed to get rid of the hand, and the flow, it's genius. Now, there's a little blip where I can see my hand moving. I could theoretically just put another copy of the clip on top of the clip, the good one versus the bad, and just mask out my hand so it only flows the mouth region, and you wouldn't even know that I was flailing my hands all over the place, talking like a psycho. Let me close Final Cut before we break this computer. But yeah, that's it. So, that's it. I think I covered my questions I wanted to cover today. Let me check the old scripty here. Make sure. If anybody have any last minute pressing questions, by all means, throw them out there. Oh, I actually quit Edge, not hid Edge. That's funny. That's all day funny. Why would you do that, sir? Now I got to actually go back to Google Sheets. Sorry, guys. Gotta love live television. Chris says that is epic and he needs to try that. Yeah, you gotta try it. The flow thing is, oh my goodness. That new thing is coming up. And yes, Brother James is here. How you doing, James? Yes, it's Virgo season. We're gonna do a Zoom meeting and just do shots for our relative birthdays because we're not going to be able to link up like we want to. So, yeah, we're just going to have to do shots over Zoom. So I'll send an email out to all the boys so that we can get up. We covered Cecilia's question for that. Yeah, we got everything. Okay, here's how it works. Tuesday, we're going to do this again on Tuesday. Tuesday, 8 a.m. is where you can see it. Did I mute myself? No, I didn't mute myself. Every Tuesday, Saturday, 8 a.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., 7 p.m. That's the breakdown. Okay, so we're going to see you Tuesday. Make sure you come through. Tuesday, I hopefully am going to talk about the script. I've been playing with it. It is so much fun. It is wild. It is absolutely wild. I think this is probably going to cost me a couple $100, but I might just do it because it is a time saver. You can actually edit the audio and the script and save the XML, and it'll fix your Final Cut videos. It's crazy. We'll get into that Tuesday, so make sure you come by and check that out. And next Saturday, again, it's just questions and answer time. Feel free to send me your questions, put them in the links, put them in the comments, and we will get them out there. We will get them answered for you as everything is possible. If you haven't done so already, make sure you jump onto the tubes of you and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you can be notified. I am creeping onto that 5,000. I think I'm about 40 people short. You guys saw it earlier today, I think, when I went into the channel. I'm about 40 people short of hitting the magic 5,000, which means nothing to YouTube except for I graduate to Opal versus, I don't know, grass. I think I'm grass right now. I got to go look up what YouTube creator levels are. But yeah, so I don't get a plaque or anything. I just get to say I got 5,000 people that listen to me talk smack on the internet. Then I didn't make any of the overlays because I just did it. So all the links and stuff to the newsletter and to the website and to, the scheduling, the lives, all that, it'll be in the description for this video because I didn't make any overlays yet because I kind of want to make a video setting up Ecamm from raw scratch. Like I want to go Ecamm beginner all the way through. So I might even set it up, like do a Zoom call, record that Zoom call, and then use that to set up Ecamm to show you how you set it up. So yeah, I've been parlaying setting up my Ecamm how I like it, just so that I can do those videos. And yeah, got a lot of stuff coming up in the future. So make sure you stay tuned and we'll see you. I appreciate every single one of y'all for coming through. And I have to remember to give myself a screen at the end so that I can put end card because I keep forgetting to do that every time. So there's going to be an outro. There's going to be an end card, and meet me in the Ecamm community for some after show talk. I'll see you guys soon. I appreciate you. Peace out. A-Town Stone.
Oh yeah, this could all be over. We're not okay. Shattered glass everywhere. Tears of rage. Waiting for the rain to stop and take my pain away. Why'd you have to be that mean? Why'd you do me that way?